Okay, um the holiday it's in my country it's today, but the day was chosen for improve to improve the tourism in my country. It is 24 May. In this date, we celebrate the independence battle.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, great. Excellent. So, yeah, I didn't know because when is there the Mother's Day?
Oh, in our case, Mother Day is the second um, Sunday of May.
Second Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Nice, yes, because I think that we have different holidays in all around the cities, right? And all around the countries. Yeah, so it's not the same.
No.
Yeah.
In Mexico, for example, I think is the um, 15th of May.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, maybe yes. We have different kind of holidays. Okay, but don't worry, Christine. We're going to cover the class from yesterday. We are going to coordinate for this Saturday or Sunday. Okay, so maybe tomorrow we can coordinate that.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay, don't worry, Christine. So now let's start with the grammars that we have here. The second grammar that we have, it is, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, so this second grammar that we have in this unit, unit 1, we have making suggestions. Okay, so when we make some suggestions and some kind of ways, for example, when we are in a group and we don't know what to do this day, so we can make some suggestions. It could be like affirmative and negative, like statements for suggestion in a group of people. So in this case, we're going to use let's. Okay, so let's always we use when we are making affirmative or negative suggestions. For example, let's start with the auxiliary let's. And for this grammar, it's not necessary to have a subject here. For example, I, you, he, we, it's not necessary. Why? Because we are using this auxiliary in order to make a group of suggestion or a suggestion for a group of people. Okay, so this is like irrelevant to put a subject. It's not necessary, and with this auxiliary let's, it's not important to put a subject. But of course, we have to use this structure in order to make the suggestions. Always we use let's and the verb. Always that we see the verb in base form, we are going to use the verb but in its basic way. So the base form of a verb, it is like this. If we have like go, this is the base form. But if I have an infinitive, this verb works with to go. This is infinitive. And if I want to add ing to the verb, I add the ing, but this is gerund. So when we talk about base form, is just the verb without to, without ing. Okay, so that's unnecessary. So the structure that it says here, it is let's plus the verb in base form and the complement. For example, if we are maybe in a group of people and we don't know what to do now, I can say, let's eat pizza. Okay, this is a positive or affirmative suggesting. The negative. In order to make negative, we're going to add just not after let's. So I have let's, not, and the verb in base form with the complement, okay? For example, let's not play soccer. That is a negative suggesting in a group of people. Let's not play soccer. Okay, positive, let's eat. Negative, let's not play. So this is for making sure about doing something. So it is like yes or no. But what happens when we ask for a suggesting? We have three ways in order to ask for suggesting something. For asking if we are going to do something or we are not going to do something. The first way for asking, it is why don't, okay? This phrase that we use is, the meaning it's going to be ¿por qué no? And the structure that we have for this, it is going to be why don't, the subject, the verb in base form, and the complement. So here it's necessary to put a subject because we can make a suggesting for a singular person of a group of people. For example, why don't, this is a suggesting for a group. We, the subject, the verb always in base form. I study, and the complement English. So why don't we study English? ¿Por qué no estudiamos inglés? So we can answer like, yes, that's a great idea. Or yes, I like that suggestion. Or of course, okay, we can have different kind of answers. The second way that we can use in order to ask for a suggesting, it is how about. How about, the meaning of this, it is ¿qué tal si? How about the verb? In this case, the verb, we don't use the verb with a base form. We use the verb plus the ing. Okay, so if we want to ask for some suggesting that express an action, we use the verb with ing. This is the first. And also, with this phrase, how about, we can use not only for actions, we can use for asking about nouns. What happens if we are in a restaurant and we don't know what to eat? So in that case, we are going to use a noun. Okay, and finally, we have the complement. So let's see this. For asking for an action, we could use how about playing soccer? So play with ing, playing soccer. ¿Qué tal si jugamos fútbol? Okay, ¿qué tal jugar fútbol? What can we do? How about playing soccer? Okay, or if we are in a restaurant and we need to use a noun. Let's eat something. I don't know what to eat. How about a cake? Okay, so this cake, it is the noun. Okay, how about a cake? ¿Qué tal un pastel? So this is not an action, this is a noun. And this how about is the only one that works with nouns or verbs. Okay, the only phrase that works with nouns or verbs with ing. The last one, it is why not? Why not? And you can see that this is similar to the second. Why don't? ¿Por qué no? Why not? ¿Por qué no? These both in meaning are the same, but in structures, we use why don't always with a subject. But with why not, this is kind of informal because we don't have an auxiliary here. We have just not. This is like an informal way. So why not? And we don't have a subject here. We just have a verb in base form and the complement. Why not buy a new car? ¿Por qué no comprar un nuevo auto? Okay, so we could use with a formal way, why don't, and the subject. Informal way, why not, and just the verb. Okay, just that. So the only auxiliary that uses in order to make suggestions in questions for nouns, the only one it is how about. And this how about is the only one that works with the verb with ing. The others, why don't, why not, are similar in meaning, but why don't always with the subject, and why not we don't use subject, just there directly to the verb. Okay, so how about this grammar, Christine? Do we have maybe some question about this?
No.
Is everything clear?
Yes.
Great. So let's go, please, Christine, to the platform and let's see the exercises. When you're gonna get in, please share me your screen. Can expressions for suggesting. Yes, that first one, expressions for suggesting one. The one, yes, that. That is, yes. So let's choose the correct answer. Okay. So let's see. Excellent. Perfect, Christine. Any mistake? So let's go to the second exercise in the next part. Yes, next. Okay, here, right? We have to complete with these words. Okay. Great, excellent. Almost one E. Yes, but it is great. Perfect. So after this, we are going to do the next grammar. That is the last grammar about unit 1. Yes, this grammar, but we're going to stop here. I will share you my screen first, and we will see about this. The second grammar that it is to and enough. Give me a second. Okay. To and enough. Okay, this is a short grammar. And this grammar, we're going to see these important words that are considered like grammar because we use with adjectives and we have to know the position, the order of the adjectives, okay? We have these two important words and it is to and enough. We know that the meaning of to, it is demasiado. And we're going to use this word when we are exaggerating something. Okay, we are exaggerating something. We have to, and we are going to work with an adjective. And if I want to express a purpose, I will use after the adjective an infinitive. So what is an infinitive? The infinitive always is to plus the verb in base form. Here, I will use an example with this structure. I can say, I am too tired. I am too tired. So this is like more than very. Okay, I'm too tired. It's like I'm really tired. I can't be awake, for example. Okay, so this is exaggerating or something really or intensify for the adjective. Okay, and after this, we can express the reason. Why am I too tired? And I can explain using an infinitive. I'm too tired to go out tonight. So maybe I have some friends that they call me in order to go out and I don't want because I am too tired. So it is impossible that I can go. Exaggerating and in a 100%. Okay, so in order to express the reason, we never forget to go, the infinitive, to, and the verb. In this case, the verb is go out, salir, but we use to go out, the infinitive, tonight. And we use enough, okay? Enough, the another word that this is not an exaggerating word. This is like a word that we use in order to express something that it is not too much and it is not too less. Okay, so it is in the middle. It is like 50% sufficient. Okay, so when we use enough, this is gonna be the opposite in the structure with to. With to, always we use to and the adjective with the reason. And enough, we use first the adjective, second the enough, and after the infinitive. She is the adjective, good, the word enough, and the reason to do the math test. She is good enough to do the math test. So it is like she is not like 100% of really, really good, and it is not so bad. So we can say that is enough, that it's a 50 or 70 of the normal way. Okay, so this is important about these two words. Okay, Christine, maybe do we have some questions about these two words?
No.
Great. So now let's go to the platform and let's continue with those exercises. Yes, this exercise. Okay. Let's see the mistake. And the first one, it is because the meaning. It's only 4:30. It's only 4:30. It's too late, but if we are using only, so we had the another option that it was early. As we are using only, it is like recent. Okay, it's only 4:30. It's too early to call. He doesn't get home until 5:30. So we have the other schedule, 5:30. So according to the context, we should use early, the opposite word. Okay. And the other one, okay. The question comes from Talia's question. Is your sister going to Josh party too? Yes, my mother finally thinks she is young enough to go, or the opposite word, that it was old enough. Because the first question says, right, is your sister going to go? Because if she couldn't go, it is like it is young. But in the answer says, my mother finally thinks. So she's old enough to go. Okay, so it is just the context. So let's try again. And let's correct the mistakes. Yes. Yes, great. Perfect, excellent. So now let's go to the next one. And in this exercise, we have the question there. Why don't you come to Josh party with me? And we have to create the answer, right? Using the words that you have in the box. You have to rearrange order, okay? So let's do it. Okay, yes, we have the second. Yes. Ok. Let's see. Veamos, a ver. ¿Dónde hemos tenido? Acá. En el he's smart. He's smart enough. Recordamos que está bien el orden. Smart enough to understand. Pero cuando hablamos en la plataforma, Christine, eso sí, para recalcar ahora, como creo que no te lo había dicho antes, pero la plataforma siempre nos va a molestar por las mayúsculas o a veces las minúsculas. En este caso, for example, because we have sorry, I'm sure, okay, we are starting with a capital letter, with I'm. And so it's necessary to continue with the lowercase letter, right? So he's smart enough to understand, it's great. Everything is great, but the capital letter doesn't correspond there. Okay, yeah, that's great. And the other, it isn't good enough. Okay, in this case, always we're going to use the infinitive. To is the word for infinitive, and the verb is hand in. Okay, hand in is a phrasal verb that we're going to use in order to pass one hand by one hand some paper, some text, okay, repartir, hand in. Okay, so that's only the order. Okay, and the other part, do we have some mistakes? No, not that next, the other next. Oh yeah, we went out. So let's put exit, and let's go to the grammar. Yes, yes. So maybe it's not going to appear, or maybe yes. Let's look for the grammar, or in the course, yes. Okay, two and enough, the second one, right? Two enough, second, yes. So, okay, these two ones, and in the other next, note that the other, yeah. Do we have some? Okay, this first one. So this first one always is like many students have the same error. Okay, and why? Let's see. In this case, it is because in the words that we have will and we have do, right? So maybe we can get confused if we are going to use will or do as an auxiliary. But let's see always this. If we have this kind of exercises, always we have to see that the auxiliary that just work as an auxiliary is going to be our main auxiliary. But for example, do doesn't work just as an auxiliary. Do can work as an auxiliary and also as a verb. So if I have those two functions for do, I will just do as a verb. And the other one that I have will doesn't have another meaning, doesn't have a meaning or a function of a verb. So that is it going to be my main auxiliary. Okay, so in this case, it is okay because you used will as your main auxiliary. But the mistake here, it is just one order of words. It is because if you could see at the end of the question or at the end of the sentence, we have a question mark. So if we have a question mark, always we remember that in questions, we start with the auxiliary. So the correct order, it is, will I do well enough to get 100%? Okay, so just that. So let's go to try again and let's correct the mistakes. Okay. Okay. Great, excellent. So that is the thing. Okay, that is the thing. So yes, with this grammar, Christine, we finish all unit 1. Okay, so maybe do you have some question about the grammars until here? Or maybe if you did the exercises, some questions that you have?
No.
Okay, so is everything clear?
Yes.
Great, Christine. So we are going to finish here. I am assigning you the quizzes, okay? So as we finish this first unit, I am assigning you the first quizzes, the first test about this first unit, okay? And tomorrow I will explain you about these quizzes, okay? So don't worry, tomorrow we're going to see it, okay?
Okay.
Perfect, Christine. So we're going to finish here. Okay. Okay, Christine. So see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Lorena. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.